All right. Oh, go ahead, sir. All right. So we are going into Worldwide Corals. This is my own little tour of. We're going cherry picking corals for the 160 or 360 rather. For those of you who haven't seen it though, Worldwide Corals facility. We're going to show you the back of the house, the coral facility, growing propagation facility. We're also going to show you this beautiful store. So I got a few things for you. These guys know how to sell the dream here. What these guys do is show you what it is you're trying to achieve, man. You walk in, let me see if I can put this little clip on here, actually. You can walk in, man, and you can see all of everything that we all want to do. I mean, this thing is like 1,200 or some gallons. It's like probably 12 feet deep. This is zoo quality display. You're walking in, and like, I mean, it's hard to imagine. You can see these fish swimming in there, you know, going all the way back to 12 feet deep inside of this lagoon. Something it's really hard to create. And you're seeing it in this store environment. You're walking in, you get to see all of these fish, even like a fish only tank here. My favorite, I saw him in here yesterday. There's a cool eel in here as well. There he is, coiled up down in there. Just seeing all these different organisms living in their own unique little environments. Cool thing about this store though is that I wish all the stores were like this, but you walk in, it's clean synonymous for me with well cared for. It's not humid or hot or anything. It's a pleasant place to come look. And really, honestly, even the gear, like you don't see gear highlighted very well in a lot of stores. So in this case, it looks more like a Best Buy than it does look like a fish store here. So throughout the whole store, like there's some cool, really unique things from a shopping perspective of, how do I go see my favorite hobby? And there's like little bits of inspiration. I can see what a garden eel tank looks like, and how I would go, recreate that for myself. How do I find the next level of my hobby? How do I see all of these corals? Again, let me pop this little guy back on. How do I see, all of these corals? Some little morning light in here, but see them all on display. Seeing all of the frags. I mean, there's just thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of frags here. Cool bits, like you can do scales of, setting up your own aquascape. You can build it right on the table here as a scale. You can use a rock. You get to do what I do. So at the warehouse at BRS, I get to go cherry pick all the rock out of the back, build my perfect aquascape out of it. Well, in a facility like this, you can do that for yourself too. Weigh it, put the stuff back that you don't want, and move on. You can see, I missed one of the coolest tanks here. I just shared it actually via Instagram. But these cool little tanks, you can see, what if I want to do a unique little extension of my hobby with something at my office? Tiny, tiny little tank filled with little Recordia. Just inspiration, man. This is what a fish store should be. It should make me want to be a better reefer, give me inspiration on like how to actually do it. Tiny little tanks, cool little, what is this? Those are like 2 gallons, 2.5 gallons. This thing, probably about 15 gallons. Something that, I don't know who wouldn't call this a really awesome, successful tank. Yeah. So I will maybe keep this orange filter on for a lot of it. It is blue in here. 1,500 gallons. So, this is a star. You can come back here, instead of shopping for frags, I can go see what the mother colonies look like. And then over here are the frags of those colonies. So they pull out 300 to 450 frags out of these systems. They're growing them for you guys right here, so you'll see it in the video, but Vic and I went through today and cherry picked all of these corals, and we're picking them out for the BRS. We're putting out a video for the 360 in my office. But who wouldn't want to come in to a store and see what the larger size colonies are, and then be able to pick out the smaller ones, because I know what it's going to look like, you know, in just a minute. I don't think I have the lights are off, but you can come back and actually see that they're pulling the frags out of there, and they're growing in the actual same water that they're from there, so it maintains the health. Oh, you can't see the top down. We'll come back. You'll see that in the video, actually. You'll see it in the produced video, but you can see all the beautiful colors and everything. So we're going to show you the farm too as well. So sorry for the shaky cam. I just have my iPhone here. Don't have the whole facility out with me. So yeah, all these corals, this is a shopping experience if you happen to be here. But also, what if you happen to not be here and you're shopping online? Or you want to make sure you're buying aquacultured coral. So that tank there, 100% aquacultured. All those things are growing. This one up front that I showed you, he said 90% plus all aquacultured corals. Why? Because there's an aquaculture facility here. And you can see all of these things grown under the same facility. Excuse me, sir. Grown in the same type of facility that you would grow in your own home, meaning like something come out of the wild and like go through, you know, 2 weeks of transport in 15 different places. Man, it came out of these systems that are grown in artificial light, artificial flow, chemistry. A lot of these are holding bins, you know, make sure that these animals are healthy when you get them. Some of them are here to, you know, make sure that they they're safe. They're getting quarantined before they go into the aquaculture facilities, you know. But again, you can see the lights. These are the lights that you guys are using at home. This is the flow that you guys are using at home, produced in a commercial facility where it just produces results at scale. Over here, this is all their like .com stuff. So just seas of coral that you can buy off of worldwidecorals.com. Like, so when you wanted to, you can't come to Orlando, which if you're in Orlando and don't come here, you're not a reefer, end of story. But you can see all these corals that they picked out over here. Down here is actually Vic's picks all of his special stuff he picks out for you guys. You should go check it out. But all of these corals, stuff that you could buy online because you don't have an option to come to Florida, right? I mean, if you're thinking, what is a fish store? What makes an awesome fish store? If this doesn't match up to what you're thinking, I can't imagine what would. So here's the cool part, man. This is where not just cool factor of I really enjoy seeing something awesome like this. It's when a better way, you know, comes together as well. So this might look like a big giant, you know, display tank, right? This big guy here. I mean, anybody who looks at this and says, would I be happy if this were my display tank? Almost everybody would say yes. But what it really is a farm. So each one of these corals here is growing out in this tank, and they come and they clip the corals out, and then they grow them out in the tanks behind it. And the cool part is the tank behind it has the exact same water. They're sharing the same water in the system. So mortality is like near zero after you snip it and you move it. They're using the same lights on both of the systems here. The same types of flow again. And like, these are really low mortalities, aquacultured. Every single thing you see here, all aquacultured, not just, hey, zero impact on the ocean, but positive impact because we're not taking things out of the ocean, but also healthier. Meaning, if I grow my lights, these corals are accustomed to LED lighting, artificial chemistry, artificial flow. When I pull one out of here, ship it to your house, didn't go through all that transport, it will maintain all the same awesome coloration, it won't die, and you'll have way better results, won't have pests. So all of these tanks here, just packed full of aquacultured coral. And I mean, I keep saying this, but like, it is so awesome that all of these things are grown in the environment that we actually keep them in. They're accustomed to that. They're not just living, they're actually growing and thriving in that environment, you know, which means they're gonna thrive in our own environment And actually when you call these guys, which is probably one of the coolest parts, is since they grow these corals, they know, you know, what they like the best. They know, they can tell you that coral isn't doing good at your house. Have you checked the PAR on it? Because it actually does best somewhere around 200, give or take, you know, 50. It also does really good, better if it's in the dark, better doesn't have flow, because they have figured out not just how to keep these things alive, but actually how to get them to thrive to the point that you can build out an entire facility. And just to get an idea, I was here 2 years ago and none of this existed. Like this was largely just a thought. And now 2 years later, it's already at this scale, you know, and replicable. You can, you know, repeat all of this over and over, and it just questions, why are we still pulling corals out of the ocean that don't need to be, especially because every single person that gets these corals will be happier because they'll be healthier, there'll be lower mortalities, they'll maintain their color, and they'll grow faster. So this is the tour. I'm picking all kinds of corals out for myself. You'll see a produced video about that whole thing. But if you're wondering what a really awesome fish store is, this absolutely has to be the bar to meet.